Good afternoon. I'm Aaron or Wheat with CyberInfo, and today I'm going to be demonstrating a DLL sideload attack in the Vivaldi browser. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So, I came across this while I was doing a little bit of research for our attack lab that we're doing on our live stream, trying to find candidates for DLL sideload attacks or search order hijacks that we could use to just kind of demonstrate some real life techniques for doing red team engagements or whatever the case may be. So, for those who are unfamiliar, how do you actually come across these? How do you find them? Procmon is a great tool to it's the wrong button to do this with. So you can see, we're looking for Vivaldi that cannot load a DLL, and that's exactly the where the vulnerabilities come from. It's kind of an inherent issue with Windows. There are things you can do to get around it, but it's also one of those things that's like, there's not a whole ton that can be done. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate this, just kind of how I found it here. So when you start it up, you'll see it's going to start looking for various DLLs, and a lot of these are, it's just, like I said, kind of how it works. It's going to be iterating through the search order that it has. Maybe I'll throw it up on the screen here or something like that, and eventually it'll get to the DLLs that it needs. It starts up, it's happy, life goes on. So one thing we'll notice here, let me see if I can find it. Vivaldi has a Razer Chroma integration. So in order to make your headphones, your keyboard, your mouse, whatever, match your browser, to each their own, it loads up, it attempts to find the SDK DLL here to make that connection. And you can see it goes searching high and low for that bad boy. And that's a great opportunity there for a DLL sideload. As far as what this could be used for, if this was any other application, it might not be that serious, and this isn't something that could be used to go from a low user context to a high system context. But this is a fantastic method for persistence. So if I'm emulating a threat actor and I land on a system that has Vivaldi, and I know that this is possible, I'm going to go, sweet. Every time the user opens their browser to go do their work, this is going to load and this is going to execute my implant. And I'm going to demonstrate that here in a second. So by default, the only saving grace here is that by default, this is disabled. Now, this is again post exploitation. So if you're already on there with interactive or semi-interactive implant, then it's not impossible to go into the config settings for this and change it. I mean, it's Chrome based or Chromium based, so it's very simple. In fact, I think I might be able to show that here. This might have it up. I don't remember off the top of my head where it was. Here we go, actually. So in here, we can search up Razer Chroma, and you can see here it's by default it's disabled. So let's say someone we're on there, and this will not work if it is open. So that's another, I wouldn't call it security feature because it's not a security feature, but it is a saving grace, if you will. So as long as the browser is closed, someone can come in here, they can swap that to true, they can save it. Let's overwrite. And then when Vivaldi is reopened, you'll see that it's actually going to, it's going to have that setting enabled there. So let's see what it looks like. We got it disabled here. And we'll demonstrate what happens when it loads it up. So as you can see with the where it's looking here for this, it's kind of vulnerable to both a search order and a side load, just depending on how you want it to attack it. But just as the kind of basic sort of thing here, we're just going to do the side load as which works by having the DLL in the same directory as the executable. So I have a very simple calculator popper here. Just rename it to Razer Chroma SDK 64. And then we go ahead and close out of Vivaldi and reopen it. And it's going to do the search again for that DLL. It's gonna see that it's there. It's not gonna actually load and execute it yet. But once we enable that, boom, it does load that DLL. And if you obviously have that enabled and you reload Vivaldi, it executes immediately. Now, when it detects that that DLL is in there, or that it finds it, it will pop up and say, "Hey," and it doesn't show it now because I've already done this, but it'll say, "Hey, do you want to enable it?" And it'll take you to the setting to enable it. So that there's a potential avenue there for a user who isn't aware, just isn't sure, maybe go, "Oh, okay, sure, I'll enable it if you want me to." And then as far as the actual, I'm trying to see, I don't know off the top of my head how to display the current version of Vivaldi. Maybe it's here. Here we go. So I want to say this is the latest version. If not, it is very close to the latest version, because I know they push out updates here and there. But so it's not some old unpatched thing. So I'm going to demonstrate a more realistic approach of, if I were to actually attempt to abuse this, simulating a threat actor, this is what I would do, at least as a start. So I have this other DLL here, and this is going to execute an implant. So now when we restart Vivaldi, we'll see, that window pops up, and there's ways to get around that. This is just a simple, very, very simple dealio here. Just kind of demonstrate, and we see that we have this callback here, and so this is Mythic C2. I've got this set up. That was a Apollo shellcode that when we used freeze RS, and you'll actually notice here that this is a user context. This was from earlier today when I was screwing around, but this is Active Defender. Uploading obviously is not enabled because I'm not trying to burn some of my TTPs, but there are no exclusions that are set up to catch this sort of thing. So we can see here we have our callback from our implant, and I could just load what is it, like see here, could load up like screenshot and just kind of demo. And this Mythic C2 box is hosted elsewhere. It's not in the lab here. Let's go and wait for it to come through here. Oh, and let me also okay, that's already set up. We'll go ahead and have it execute the screenshot. Oh, that's right. It needs something else, I think. So it'd be just my luck that this isn't actually working with the screenshot here. It is probably a skill issue, something that I vaguely recall running into this a while ago, because I don't run agents fully loaded with all of the commands, so I go load them in after the fact. But it's probably something that I just stupidly forgot what else I need to enable to get it to work. But the bottom line is, we do have a great way of persistence here. So like I said previously, anytime someone loads up, they come into the office in the morning, they get started, get a cup of coffee ready for the day, they open up Vivaldi to check their email, log into Office, whatever the case may be. That's going to execute your agent there, your beacon, and you're going to have a callback. So a great way to survive reboots, great way to survive just user going home for the day. As far as what can be done to fix this, I'm not a developer. I just like to break shit. To Vivaldi, I do not know how correct or how best to go about avoiding this. I know that there are plenty of resources out there for mitigating DLL based attacks. I couldn't tell you, but I'd be more than happy to help figure this out. I think I know there's some other techniques out there with DLLs. It's kind of like you could pretty easily abuse other DLLs like I think reflection and proxying, but this is a pretty low-hanging fruit thing, especially for connection to Razer devices. I think that is an absurd reason to have such an easy persistence method. And just as an example, I'm aware of people who, based off of my letting them know this has been removed from their corporate environments because of this. Just shouldn't be a thing. If you have questions, anyone wants to reach out, you hit up our website, cyber.info. Be more than happy to chat about it, figure this out, or develop this attack even further. Thank you much, and hopefully I don't have to make another one of these, but we'll see. Bye.